We're so happy to have you join us for November's Cookbook Corner, where we will be featuring the Supernatural Official Cookbook. We're going to be making some veggie burgers and some fried pickle chips. We've got our impossible veggie burgers. I did thaw them overnight. You can cook them frozen. And then we've got our seasonings, our sour cream, mayo, and milk that we will be using for the garlic aioli we will be making. And then we've got our pickle chips for our fried pickles. It's a pretty simple ingredient list for this. It's mostly seasonings, flour, oil, and pickles. And we're going to be making some homemade ranch as well, which will again feature the sour cream, mayonnaise, and we're very excited to get started with our veggie tofu burgers. And the first step of that process is making our garlic aioli. So it calls for 2 cloves of garlic that you will peel and mince. I like to work smarter, not harder. So I cheat and get minced garlic. So we are going to do 2 tablespoons of minced garlic into our food processor, and then we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then it is a pinch of black pepper, so I'm honestly going to do 1/4 teaspoon of that as well, and then a tablespoon of tablespoon of lemon juice. Please don't put lemonade in your garlic aioli. And then we are going to do 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. I've got 1/4 cup measuring cup, so we're going to do 2 of those. And we are going to put our food processor together. You definitely want it to be a creamy sort of paste that you're going to spread across your toasted buns. You can also blend your garlic first and create a paste that way. But if you make a mistake like I did and add your garlic first, you just might want to blend it a little longer. All right, and we are going to set that to the side. We have got our garlic aioli in the refrigerator resting so all those flavors can come together, and we are going to get started on our veggie tofu burgers. I just bought some Impossible burgers from the frozen section. We are using some extra virgin olive oil cooking spray. Just get that skillet nice and coated. And we've gone ahead and seasoned the top of our burgers with some pepper, salt, garlic, onion, and cayenne. And we are going to get those cooking. And we've got our seasoned side down, so we're going to add a little more seasoning to these tops. Do a little salt, a little pepper, and then we are going to do just a little more garlic and onion. I am going to skip the cayenne pepper on this side. I don't want to overpower people. Do remember that these are plant-based burgers, so you are not, you're cooking to your desired doneness. The package says about 2 minutes per side. So we are going to work on getting these flipped here in a second. They are looking pretty. Just remember, if you've never cooked veggie burgers before, they are pretty fragile. They do not hold together quite like meat does, so you're going to want to be decently gentle when you're flipping them or moving them around in the skillet. All right, we are wrapping up on our veggie burgers being done. They smell so good. And we are going to get them out of the skillet and work on toasting our buns. You can put cheese on these. Since we are feeding other people, we are holding off on the cheese and letting each individual decide if they want cheese or not. If you are making cheeseburgers, go ahead and put the cheese on about the last minute or so of the burgers cooking, and add your cheese in the skillet. So right now we are wiping our skillet clean, and we are going to spray it again with some extra virgin olive oil spray. And then we are going to place our brioche buns side down in our skillet and toast them for just a couple of minutes. We are gonna get started on our fried pickles. We're gonna get started with the flour dredging material first. So you are going to need a cup of flour, all-purpose flour. So we are going to need 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder. I've got a 1/2 tablespoon, so we're gonna do 3 of these. And then you are going to need a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of salt. And again, I'm using a 1/2 tablespoon, so having to do a few extra pours of that. And then we are going to do 2 teaspoons of black pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of the cayenne. You're gonna wanna make sure you get that good and incorporated together, because otherwise when you dump it out in your pan and dredge your pickles, you're gonna get little pockets of seasoning, and that's not gonna be delicious when you eat your pickles. All right, we are gonna dump it in our dredging pan. We have already drained our pickles and patted them dry, so you do wanna make sure that they are not fresh out of the jar. You're gonna wanna let them sit on some paper towels for a minute and make sure that they are nice and dry. And all you are gonna do is dredge the pickles one at a time. I'm gonna flip them over a couple of times, make sure they're good and coated. And then we drop these bad boys in the oil. And these pickles are gonna cook for 2 to 3 minutes a piece. You're gonna wanna make sure that you don't overcrowd your pan. You're really only gonna wanna cook a couple of pickles at a time to make sure that you can get them in and out appropriately. But you are looking for a nice golden brown color on these bad boys. We are gonna get started on our ranch dressing. Got our bowl ready while we're getting the rest of our pickles fried. So we are gonna use a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. We are going to do a 1/2 cup of sour cream and a 1/2 cup of milk. I usually like to use whole milk in these sort of recipes. Feel free to use whatever fat level content you desire. And then we are going to do our herbs. So you can use fresh or dried. I did choose to go with dried. So we are going to use a teaspoon of dried dill. We are going to do 1 teaspoon of dried parsley and a teaspoon of chives. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of the onion powder. And then we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and get most of this mixed together, but you do still need to add your lemon juice, and then you will put your ranch dressing in a glass container and refrigerate it for about an hour for all of those flavors to meld together. We have got our finished products. We are so excited to do a taste test for our veggie burgers and our fried pickle chips with our homemade ranch and our garlic aioli. A meal fit for the Winchesters. Thank you so much for joining us for November's Cookbook Corner, where we made veggie tofu burgers and fried pickle chips from Supernatural, an official cookbook. Be sure to join us next month for December's Cookbook Corner, where we will have a special guest, Ollie Carter, one of our new additions to the library. And until next time, carry on.